Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavityam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now, today is a auspicious day called Chitra Paurnami. Is almost over. The Tithi is getting over tonight. It started last night. So last night was technically the full moon, but the Tithi is still there. So since we are in the last phase of the Chitra, I thought we will discuss about it a little bit, and then from there get to the main point. There are some days which are considered spiritually loaded. Okay, so they have a astronomically, astrologically, the subtle forces come under alignment, which is a kind of a good time to facilitate in our mind a deeper understanding, a better grounding in our spiritual practice, and to awaken the higher ideals in our heart, etc. So Chitra Paurnami is one such date. Paurnami means the full moon that comes in this month. Different social groups celebrate it in different manner, different customs, different traditions. Where I come from, they celebrate it as a festival that propitiates the deity called Chitragupta. Chitragupta is the accountant for the god of death. So he keeps account of all your good and bad things, bad deeds, and then he decides what will happen to you after death. You go to the Punya Loka or Papa Loka, etc. The virtuous worlds or the hell kind of worlds, and for how long and all that. So it's very interesting, the name, you see. The name of this divinity is called Chitragupta. Gupta means secret. Chitra means picture. It is the hidden picture. Hidden picture is nothing but the residual effect of the actions that we have done in our mind. After we do an action, there is a residual effect in the mind based on how we see the action, based on our intention, and how actually that action affects the people and the world around us, and what is the throwback that comes back from the world around us because of this action, the karmic consequences. All that is embedded in our subtle body called Sukshma Sarira, which is made of the 5 pranas, the mind, along with the power of consciousness that keeps everything together. That is the whole individuality minus the physical body is our subtle body. And in the mind, in the chitta, it is stored as residual impression. That is Chitragupta. So the collective cumulative effect of all that will decide the vector of our life after death. So that is the whole point. Paurnami, full moon, especially this full moon, the Chitra Paurnami, around this time when the Paurnami comes, sometimes it is Buddha Purnima, the day of enlightenment of Buddha. They say the birth of Buddha, enlightenment of Buddha. For the Buddhists, it is very auspicious. So basically, the Chitra Paurnami, it's a very yogic, contemplative festival, the day that is connected to awakening of higher intelligence, awakening of self-awareness. And the example is always, the full moon example is always given for the experience of pure awareness in a still mind. When the mind is free from the force of desires, thoughts, ideas, contradictions, you experience the self awareness without any disturbance, without any superimposition, called Swarupa Avastha. You don't experience anything else other than the self awareness. Sattva Purushayoho Shuddhi Samye Kaivalyam comes in. The self alone is experienced. Comes in Yoga Sutra, one of the Yoga. Sattva Purushayoho Shuddhi Samye Kaivalyam. That is Chitra Purnami. It's something like this. Why? It's like a reflection of the moon because of the analysis. There is an analogy that tells you about the reflection of the moon in water. There is a pond. There is a still pond. You see the reflection of the moon in that. Then somebody throws a small pebble in the water. And then it produces waves. When the waves are there, you cannot see the full moon clearly. You see uh, uh, some flickers of light and all that. You know that it is because of the moon that all these different lights are there, and there are so many flashes of light in the water. You don't see the moon, but you see some light. But you understand it is because of the reflected moon. And then, if you want to experience the full moon as it is, what do? You cannot make the water still. The more effort you put there, the more it is going to produce wavelets, and the more the image of the moon is going to get disturbed. So what we do is we just keep quiet. Don't disturb the lake. Wait for the waves to settle down. And the waves settle down in the still surface of that water body. You see the reflection of the full moon. It's beautiful. Right? In the same way, right now, we can try even like a small meditation. The content of the mind, the content of our experience right now. Just find a comfortable posture. Feel the body. Feel the breathing. Take a deep inhale and gradual exhale. Complete exhale. Feel the contraction in the abdominal muscles. Let go of the abdominal muscles. Allow the breaths to come in and prolong the inhalation a little bit more until you feel the expansion in the chest. And gradually let go, allowing a natural exhalation. And you prolong the exhalation till the end of the breath, until there is no more air left in your lungs. You will feel a contraction in your abdomen. Let go of the abdomen, allow the breath to come in, and prolong the inhalation until you feel the expansion in the chest. You breathe like this for some time. And with every time when you breathe out, whatever is your current urge or a tendency or a thought, or whatever is there in your mind, the content in your mind, inside your mind, inside you that you experience, just mentally let go of it when the breath goes up. Inhale, become aware of your sense of self. And whatever is there, you let go of the breath. Whatever comes in the mind, let it flow out through the exhaling breath. And feel the state of mind without it, that absence, that kind of emptiness. It is empty of the thought, but you are aware. It is full of your presence. Keep doing that for some time. Just you are sitting straight, sitting relaxed, eyes are relaxed, facial muscles are relaxed, the jaw, tongue, mouth relaxed, the shoulders and arms are relaxed, the torso is relaxed, abdominal muscles, the legs, feet, the toes are relaxed. Basically, you do not make any effort at the physical level, just enough to keep your body straight. And you enjoy this effortlessness at the physical level. And there is the breathing going on. Just tell yourself, now you are going to be aware of what is. And you're just going to become more and more aware of your own self. You already exist. You are here. You don't have to do anything to become aware of yourself. Because you are here, you are aware of other things. If I ask you, what did you have for lunch? No, you are aware of yourself. Then you go and search in your memory, what did I have for lunch? And then you recollect whatever you had for lunch. Right? Now come back here. So you experience this space right now that is around you, in front of you, inside you. You experience your existence. You exist. You are aware of that. And there are some content of this moment. Whatever comes from memory, whatever you remember, whatever is triggered from your mind, from the noises that are around you, the things that are around you. And whatever comes in your field of attention, whatever you become aware of, it invokes a spontaneous response from inside you. You tend to connect with that. I am talking, you are listening to my voice. I am not asking you to do anything, but I am asking you to translate the meaning of my words into your living experience there. Yes, I am pointing out, bringing your attention to the content of your experience right now. You are here. This is the field of experience. You are here, the experiencer of this field of experience. And then there is this relationship you have with the various things that come into your attention in this field of experience. Just recognize these three different aspects. That's all, nothing else. See, always we are busy responding to stimuli. There is something in our field of experience right now which elicits a response from inside you, and then you click on it or you suppress it. If it is something that you believe is okay to do, you adopt it and you act on it. If it is something that is not okay to do, you suppress it. You don't act on it, and you try to get rid of it. Maybe some negative thought, or uh, some mischievous thought. You are not supposed to do that. Like a kid that likes a nice shiny pencil in the box from the kid next to it. The kid wants to take it, but it cannot take it because it's his pen. It's his pencil, not my pencil. Knows it should not take it. So, but the pressure is too much. I like the pencil. I want to see the pencil. Then the mind is very busy trying to see how to do it. So there is this, what they call in neuroscience as excitatory and inhibitory mechanism. The moment something invokes your attention from the background, you are participating in that game. The stimulus response, the stimulus brings out a response because of the habit of your brain and your perception and your history with that thing. As natural response comes from inside. Now, if I say citron pickle or a lemon pickle, immediately it brings out some saliva in the tongue. Puliogre, immediately it brings some salivation. Some tasty food that if I tell you, some sour food, it brings a salivation in the tongue, right? So it's very organic thing. So similarly, there are some pleasant experiences, unpleasant experiences. If I tell you about something, let us say, for example, yesterday was Mother's Day. If I say, think about your mother, what did you do for Mother's Day? Somebody who had a nice time for the Mother's Day, immediately it brings up pleasant memories. Let us say somebody has lost their mother and is missing their mother. It brings up some kind of an emotion, that the feeling of missing, the sadness, and all that. So, depending on your personal relationship with the content that comes up in your mind, you experience a mode of living your sense of self. Your sense of self changes in relation to that content that you become aware of, in relation to how you are relating, in relation to the meaning that content has for you, right? All I'm asking you is to notice that you don't have to do anything about it. No matter what comes, you don't have to do anything about it. The moment you experience a movement in the mind, you will have to analyze how you have to become aware of how you are relating to it, how you are pushed to relate to it. That's all. How your personal involvement comes up and asserts itself, despite you are not even trying it. So you are only becoming aware of it. You are not going to act on whatever urge that comes up. You are not going to do anything about it. You are not going to try to get rid of whatever comes in the mind, good, bad, no matter what it is, pleasant, unpleasant, doesn't matter. You are only going to recognize the different aspects of this experience, the content, what that natural response, that content of the object brings up from inside you, and how you are handling it, how you tend to handle it, or how you tend to relate to it. You want to get rid of it or you want to encourage it. So all this you have to recognize in an experience. Just keep doing this. Then, when you recognize it, when you categorize the experience in this moment into these three aspects and stay in that recognition, the personal involvement starts going down, Mind comes to a certain kind of a silence, and then something else comes up. Then it pushes, goes on for some time. You recognize the various components of your experiencing, the process of experiencing and relating to the field of experience, not doing anything about it. You are only operating your understanding. You are recognizing this is this. Like when I show you a pen, you recognize this is the cover, this is the body, this is the nib, and inside is the ink. You recognize the different parts, right? Like that, you are simply recognizing and labeling the experience. In the experience, you are recognizing this is the field of experience. I'm here. This is the content, and this is what the content brings up from my subconscious, from my background, and this is how I feel about it. This is how I feel the urge. This is how I am relating to. You have to just notice these different aspects of the flow of experience as the mind moves moment to moment. Just have to be with. As the content of your field of experience keeps shifting, for every object there is a different response. You keep seeing the different parts of this experience, this moment, this moment. You're completely frozen in this moment. You are not trying to reach anywhere. You are completely getting grounded in the intention to understand the content of the experience this moment. You are not trying to arrive at any specific experience. And as you keep doing this, you will become aware of that point where your personal involvement to the content of this field of experience right now is getting triggered. You will see how you are getting triggered to involve in this field of experience right now. How an object in your attention triggers your personal involvement, or something inside you. There is a force that makes you move, your sense of self assert in a certain way. There is something that makes you assert yourself, your presence, your energy, your sense of self move. There's something that makes you move, right? You recognize that at that point. You keep your attention in that point where you constantly urged to move, and you decide to not respond to that. Just recognize the urge to assert yourself, the urge to move, the urge to act. Just drop it. Now stay aware only of. No matter what is the experience, your focus is only going to be on how you are feeling the urge to act on something. That push that comes on your sense of self, that push that comes over you to make you act on something, to act in a direction, to put energy in a direction, to assert yourself in some way. You get activated. There is something that activates you, right? Your sense of self at the very deepest core, you get activated by every content of the mind. Now all your attention, instead of analyzing the experience, once you catch this point, you just stay aware at this point where you are getting activated constantly. You let go, watch that, stay quiet, it will come down, it will subside, there will be a certain sense of quietness. Again, something will come up, you will get activated, you are observing it. Don't act on it. Don't suppress it. Don't try to get rid of it. It subside. This self sense, this functional self getting activated, it's like a wave. It comes up, hangs on, slowly goes down, disappears, silence. And enjoy that. You notice that moment when you are not activated. As you are able to stay in this with absolutely straight spine, neck, and head. Now, if you are able to maintain that good posture and you stay in this, and when you resist the temptation to go into sleep, sometimes after some time you might feel sleepy because you are not used to staying in pure stillness without content but with awareness also. You are not used to that. So because of that, some sleep might come. Doesn't matter. Sleep is also a content of the mind. You resist that, keep your body straight. Generally, it goes away. It hangs on for some time and goes away. If you don't give in to that temptation of sleep. So this will not work when you're very tired. If you have a decent amount of energy, this will work. And not a full stomach. No? Neither full stomach, nor hungry, nor tired, nor too excited. Kind of a very balanced state. That is what yoga is for. To help you to do this meditation. So when you are able to manage to stay straight and not go into the sleep, resist that urge to sleep, treat that also as an urge and just don't participate in that, and just keep your attention at that point where you constantly get activated, and then silence, getting activated, stillness. Then you will start becoming more and more familiar with your sense of self being absolutely still and aware. In that stillness, there is an intrinsic awareness. Just stay in that. Just recognize that. You will recognize it. When you experience it, you will recognize it. If you become more and more familiar with that, spend more and more time with that, when that becomes the dominant content of your experience, that still non-activated self with self-awareness, if you can remain like that, slowly the other content of the mind, layer by layer, the mind starts settling down. And this sense of self-awareness and stillness starts overwhelming the body and the system and the prana and the mind. A certain kind of fullness can be experienced. Sometimes there could be some ecstasy and all that, doesn't matter. It'll all come and go. Just keep being devoted to the stillness, being devoted to the stillness and the awareness that arises out of the stillness of the sense of self. This experience becomes brighter and brighter in your attention, in your awareness, in your field of experience. This becomes the dominant aspect of your experience of this moment. This is Chitra Purnami. Yeah. So you can try this meditation, anybody can try. Jyotishmati, it is called. Jyotishmati. The shining, uh, the shining state of cognition. The cognitive faculty shining in stillness. It's called Jyotishmati. So that is what it is. So when the light, it is because as the mind becomes still, the awareness or the power of consciousness, which is you are the consciousness. This power of consciousness that shines and activates, shines in the mind and activates all the processes, the mental processes. This power of consciousness is self-effulgent and it is experienced without any distraction or disturbance in its fullness, in its complete. Just like how the full moon is experienced in the reflection of the water when the water surface is completely still. This I am. The content of when you say I am, what is the content of the I am? The meaning of the word I am is what? No, it's you. And you experience yourself in absolute stillness, seeking nothing, completely comfortable the way you are in you. It is not the body, you are not the mind. You exist in your self existence, self referral awareness, in the absolute stillness of all the content of experience. When nothing is activated, you experience yourself without any disturbance in a way that is the closest to your true nature. There is a fullness, a completeness, and freedom from any kind of limitation that can be experienced. Whatever is the ecstasy or joy that you experience in a deeper level of this experience, of this meditation, is nothing but the reflection of the completeness that is you in the field of consciousness that is experienced in a still mind. The completeness that is you is not getting fragmented. You are always complete, but your completeness gets fragmented in the structures of thought, in the various ego structures, and in the constant struggle and striving and push and pull of uh, everyday experiences and chasing this and that, you know, in the egoism, in the likes, in the dislikes, in the clinging to situations, in the struggle, in all the tug of war. This light, which is your true nature, the completeness, which is your true nature, it gets fragmented. So when all that is let go, and then you somehow arrive at a convince yourself to stay in absolute stillness, you experience the unfragmented completeness and the fullness and the resulting joy that is your intrinsic nature. That is what which you are. That is what you are getting reflected in the mind. It's like seeing your face in a clean mirror. The clean mirror shows your exact face as it is, but a contoured mirror or a dirty mirror shows a distorted image of your face. In the same way, the mind that is absolutely still shows the true nature of you. Tadadarshtu swarupe avasthanam vritti sarupyam idaratra. Your sense of self is mixed up with the various content of the mind, with all the uh, structures of thought and ego and the fragmented sense of self comes when the self is identified with the experiencer in every relativistic experience. So you assume yourself to be what a certain wavelet is. The shape of the moon resembles the shape of the wavelet instead of the shape of the moon. In the same way, your sense of self gets distorted according to the nature of the experiencer of that particular experience, the doer of that particular action. I am powerful, I am not powerful, I am rich, I am not rich, I am happy, I am not happy, I am sad, I am angry, I am joyful, I am satisfied, I am not satisfied. All this is because of taking the experiencer to be oneself, identification with the experiencer part of an experience. While it is the mind that is the object of experience, it is the mind that is the process of experiencing, it is also the mind that is the experiencer. And it is the consciousness, which is you, the conscious, the force of consciousness, the power of consciousness. You are the consciousness, you are the conscious power that makes this entire experience possible. You are the light behind the experiencer, the object of experience. You are the light behind the entire process of experiencing, and you will be able to experience yourself as a light that is unconnected with the field of it, that is unconnected with the content of the experience. Right? So that is one aspect of enlightenment. It is very, very accessible to all of us. All you have to do is be sincere and sit and try. Somehow do some basic yoga and other things to find a way to sit absolutely still back, neck, and head straight for at least half an hour to begin with. And if you can prolong it to 90 minutes, that will be ideal. If you can somehow manage to find a way to sit absolutely still with back, neck, and head straight for 90 minutes. I am not asking you to sit in Padmasana or Siddhasana. That is wonderful if you can manage, but doesn't matter. Even a sofa or a chair would do. Just don't get too comfortable. That will make you sleep. But at the same time, don't be uncomfortable, constantly struggling with the body. You don't have to find that perfect equilibrium where, and you are not sweating anywhere. You are not. I'm not asking you to pamper yourself too much, but at the same time, you don't have to struggle to keep if you're struggling to keep your posture straight, you will not be able to meditate. So somehow you have to find that fine zone, that sweet spot where you are able to sit with a reasonable comfort and attention and keep your back, neck, and head in a straight line without any strain or with minimal strain, so that you can focus on the nature of your involvement with the field of experience and come to that sense of self getting activated and letting go and making yourself more and more and more silent and absolutely still, unmoved by anything that pops in the field of experience. And allow that stillness to take over, become the dominant presence in this moment. Just, the whole field of experience, everything stops, time stops, just you are. Because you yourself at awareness, your presence becomes the dominant aspect of the field of experience that you experience. And just stay devoted to that. Stay devoted to that stillness. Stay committed to that stillness as long as you can. And after 1.5 hours, somebody can come and wake you up, or you can keep an alarm so that it doesn't go beyond that. 1.5 hours should be enough. Usually, if you are able to do that in 40 to 45 minutes, it will start kicking in for any level of person with a decent level of mental health and a decent level of Nadi Shuddhi and some Sattva. Around 25 minutes onwards, in 45 to 40 minutes, around that time, it will start kicking in and becoming the dominant. Stillness will start becoming the dominant thing. There will be some other experiences coming. Don't worry about all that. All that is just part of the different aspects of the mind. All you have to do is to keep your sense of self from getting activated and be committed to remaining still inside at the deepest level of your sense of self. Just stay devoted to that. That alone is just to stay there. Try to repeat this practice every day, or 2 times in a day. Whenever you can, take off 5 minutes or 10 minutes and stay devoted to this stillness. Become familiar with the process. Become familiar with the process. You may not be able to devote 1.5 hours right away. You can keep it for the weekends if you want, for the holidays. But take off 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, even 2 minutes is enough. If you can just take a break and try to be devoted to remaining absolutely still at the core of your sense of self. Maybe listen to this audio again. Try to understand the process. Listen to this a few times. Try to understand the process. That understanding that you develop as you sit and apply this knowledge, apply this practice and repeat this practice, you develop a certain intrinsic understanding. Like how you have a muscle memory for walking, for cycling, for swimming, etc. You also develop this muscle memory kind of thing. It's similar to that in the mind. It's called samskara. You develop this samskara, the nirodha samskara, and you develop that knack, intrinsic knack to deal with the various movements of the mind when you are sitting committed to the process of arriving at the stillness in this moment. No? That familiarity. You have to familiarize yourself. So time to time, take 5 minutes off, 10 minutes off, micro meditation. Try to find this micro meditation windows through your day. And when you can find a good chunk of time when nobody will disturb you, where there are not much commitments, you can sit and practice this. And one of the best moments to practice this would be immediately after waking up from sleep. Anytime you sleep, it could be the all night sleep or a nap, doesn't matter. And after all the jobs of the day is over, you can practice this and go to sleep. Just before going to sleep, you can do that. You can also do that for 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes before having a meal. And something like 1 hour, 1.5 hours after a meal, you can do it. If you want to do a long session, make sure it is like an hour or hour and a half, 90 minutes after a meal. So that will be like a very optimal time. Yeah. So you can also see how when you practice this, you can also see how different foods affect. When you have onion and garlic and spicy food, how it affects you. If you have non-vegetarian food, how it affects you. If you have some alcohol and intoxicants, how it affects you. If you then you decide to abstain from all this, according to have a yogic diet and all that for 1 or 2 months, and see how this meditation, the quality of this meditation improves. Then we don't have to convince you of anything at all. You will convince yourself of what is appropriate. You will convince yourself of what is the yogic diet, what is the yogic lifestyle, why the Yoga Shastra recommends certain things, why Bhagavad Gita is recommending sattvic food, and why the attitude of Karma Yoga is important in every day in different situations. So you will see, the more you are stuck with situations during your active hours, the more difficult this meditation will come. Will become when you are sitting, when you are not doing anything and when you're taking this meditation break. Depending on the quality of how you engage with the world around you, with people around you, with the various commitments that you have and various expectations that you have, how you handle them in your active life will reflect on the quality of how you are able to be committed to becoming absolutely still in this meditation. So this is an extremely important aspect of Nishta. We can call it as a kind of samadhi. It's a kind of asampragnata samadhi. You can also say Jyotishmati, that pure awareness, that self-awareness to the exclusion of everything else. Asmita matra, that staying devoted to that stillness of that sense of self without being perturbed by any content that arises in the field of attention. Yeah. So I thought this would be the most appropriate thing to share and discuss during this beautiful day of Chitra Paurnami, the complete day. So you have been, let us consider that you have been initiated in this meditation, because this word initiation is very motivating for a lot of people. It has a certain mystic ring to it. So let's say you are initiated in this meditation. So you can try it. After the class also, if you can take off a little bit and try a little for a few minutes, will be great. So practice this and let me know. It is you don't have to chant any mantras and all that. So whatever is the other practice mantras and whatever you're doing, all of that is only a way of helping you to disengage from your compulsive engagement with the content of the mind, to help you to disengage from your compulsive urge to engage with the content of mind that comes because of so many factors. There is a compulsive push to engage with the content of your field of experience because of karma, vasana, samskara, etc. This compulsive urge that pushes you to engage in a certain manner, to be able to disengage from that and arrive at that still at the core of the sense of self. Stillness, to arrive at the ability to be absolutely still at the core of the sense of self. That's what all the other practices are for. And anything that brings you towards this is helping you in your freedom. Anything that takes you away from this is helping you to get more and more caught in the cycle of bondage and struggle, karma and klesha. And this is kaivalya, the experience of pure sense of self, or in a way, a kind of, and one aspect of enlightenment. Right? So please practice this and let me know how it goes. And any questions and during your process, as you become more familiar with it, you can always discuss with me and we'll see what we can do. And any questions regarding this or any other practice, the relevance of any other practice in connection with this, all those things, or any other questions, if you have in mind, you can ask now. We have another 10 to 12 minutes, 13 minutes left for a discussion. The micro breaks are very important. Find a way to, don't say I am not getting 1 hour to meditate, I'm not getting 1 hour to meditate. Keep on postponing and you will forget the entire technique. Instead of that, if you can do for 2 minutes, great. Find that if you are able to do a sit for, try for 2 minutes, try for the 2 minutes. Don't wait for 1 hour. Then try for 5 minutes, try for 10 minutes, but try to come back to this stillness, to this approach of staying with this field of experience without participation, without allowing yourself to get automatically activated by the various factors. That improving the self-awareness while you are experiencing yourself in a given field of experience. Then what will happen is the same self-awareness will start extending in your dream also. You will see yourself in the dream trying to disengage from your involvement in situation. That's a very good, that will be a very good sign. It comes once you start doing it, it comes. When you wake up from sleep, you arrive at a field of experience. So when you wake, that's why when I'm telling you to do in the early morning, when you wake up from sleep to do this, is to remember to stay with a sense of self and remember to become aware of how you are pulled here and there and how develop the choice for the various compulsions that drag yourself into it. That habitual forces, to learn to become aware of your triggers and stay in that awareness and stay committed to disengagement and stillness. To practice that, the moment you wake up, you experience yourself in a certain field of attention, in a field of experience. Somehow it's like coming into a room. When you wake up from sleep, it's like you have come from some other room to this room of wakefulness. And now you practice this. That self-awareness of how you are pulled into the various contents of this field of experience called the wakefulness, the waking state. The waking state is a field of experience, and you are pushed to engage with this content of this field of experience called waking state. When you wake up, what I have to do, something you remember, I have to have a coffee, or I should do it, I should take the alarm, I should check the time, whatever, or something you remember from the dream and you are reacting to it. All kinds of things. There is not even thinking. You are just dragged into the participation with the contents of the waking state the moment you wake up. So that's where we are going to take control of that process and cultivate self-awareness and commitment to absolute stillness and develop the choice over action, choice over participation with the content of experience the moment you are awake, practicing that. And not going back to sleep. It's a very simple concept. If it is too tough, doesn't matter. Don't get lazy. Just listen to it a few more times. Maybe put the background play speed to 0.75 or something. Listen to it in parts. Think about it. Listen to one part. Think about it. Try to translate it in your everyday experience. Sit and work with that concept. See how you experience it. Then come back. Listen to the next part. Take your time. Don't have to rush. You are eternal. There is no rush to anything. We are not arriving at anything. You are just arriving at yourself. You are already there. So that's how you do it. It's like you work with it. Take your time. Take breaks. Become familiar with the process. So looks like there are no questions. So maybe we can finish the class. Okay. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. Our Shanti mantra in the end of the class, Purnamada Purnamidam, is very appropriate for Chitra Paur. The fullness is that, the fullness is this. From that fullness, this fullness came. When you resolve this fullness back into the causal fullness, what remains is fullness alone. So that is what is the thing we chant in the end of the class. Now we have a question. I understand that you are talking about the practice of meditation for Antakarana Shuddhi. All practices for, and also I am telling about the meditation that is the result of Antakarana Shuddhi. Also, I understand Nididhyasana in the Vedanta as Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasana is also a form of meditation, but this is different in that it involves contemplation on knowledge. No, it involves contemplation on the self-effulgent awareness of the sense of I that you experience. This is a yogic meditation. It could be one part of what you call in Vedanta. If I want to compare with Vedanta, this could be compared with Tvam Pada Vichara. If you want to compare with Vedanta, Tvam Pada, Tattvamasi we say, Tvam Pada, Tattvamasi, thou art that. You are that. So what does the word you mean? That means Ishvara or Brahman. The you means the individual Jiva or Atma, depending on the unfoldment. So the Vachyartham or the verbal meaning is the individual self, which is the Jiva, the individual, in relation with the body and mind. But the Lakshyartha or the intended meaning is the pure self, which is the pure awareness, Sachidananda Atma, that is apart from the waking dream and sleep, that is distinct from the waking dream and sleep states. So here it helps us to develop what is called as Viveka, Atma Anatma Viveka, and to a certain extent, the Samadhi that helps you to understand the meaning of Tvam in Tattvamasi. So, so you mentioned, there is a question, another question here. You mentioned that the Shiva Sahasranama Stotram introduced last week comes from Linga Purana. You tell me what Linga Purana is. Linga Purana is one of the 18 Puranas written by Vyasacharya. There are many Puranas. There are 18 Puranas. So Linga Purana is one of the Puranas. This information about it, you will find it in Hindupedia and all that websites. Maybe I will send you some links where you can study. You have Padma Purana, Linga Purana, Vishnu Purana. There are a lot of Puranas. 18 Puranas, main Puranas are there. Then there are Upa Puranas. So Linga Purana is one of the main Puranas. One of the 18 Puranas. In that, this comes. So Ramayana Mahabharata is Itihasa. Then you have Purana. So Linga Purana is one of them. It's not 3 Puranas. There are Puranas and Itihas. The Puranas are generally encapsulating the truths of the Upanishads in a symbolic narrative and as a dialogue between Devi and a dialogue between different characters. the elucidation. The truth is embedded in the story, and it is mostly symbolic story, while Itihasa is connected with a historic event. Puranas are more connected with imaginative kind of storytelling, which has characters. It is more of symbolism than history, while Itihasa is more history than symbolism. Like Ramayana, Mahabharata, like they actually happened, and the philosophy is taught through the events of that story. While Purana is the creating a kind of a fiction out of a base, creating a fiction around the spiritual principles and the truths and the wisdom of the Vedas, and all the wisdom teachings of the Vedas is embedded within the Purana, and also some tools for uh, dharma, some tools for some sadhanas and all that things are given there for the benefit of those people who are not adhikari to to study and practice the Vedic chantings and rituals, and also for the benefit of the Vedikas to have a better emotional integration with the truths that are given in the Veda. Yeah. So I hope I answered the question. So with this, we will finish the class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tatsate. It will be nice if some of you try this meditation and come back with your feedback and some discussions. If you really try, there will definitely be things to discuss, and let's see how it goes. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice week, everyone. Om.